Just shut up and start the show.
Good afternoon, Mr. T. Nimmin. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing great, Mr. Patel. How are you doing? We got a lot to talk about today. This is a hot topic, and a lot of people don't know what's going on with shorts. A lot of people are having success with shorts. We're going to cover it all today, and we're going to talk about some things that you probably things that you haven't even thought about.
I will say, looking at shorts for the first time is literally bewildering. It's almost as if the launch of this feature is so confusing they tried to mess with creators.
Well, you know what? Full disclosure, Daniel and I probably had a two-day conversation a month ago where I was just pestering him saying, what is this? I'm so confused. I don't understand what's going on.
100%.
That conversation?
We did. We were on for hours comparing things, pulling it up on mobile, pulling it up on desktop, really digging in and trying to learn about the feature itself, because neither one of us, because I'm in the United States, Dee's temporarily in Mexico, and neither one of us actually has the shorts feature on our mobile devices.
The camera.
The camera itself, right? The camera. We don't have the camera. We have the player.
We're going to talk about what this is, yeah.
Yeah, but it's been a lot of talking to different creators, seeing what it looks like in different countries, trying to gather all the information we can. So listen, today we're going to try to make sure that we can help you, one, understand what shorts is a little better and how to use it more effectively, and making sure that you've covered all the bases. I guarantee that you're going to have several aha moments here, people, because there's things that we discovered when we started playing with, like, no way, we didn't even know that. So we want to make sure that you've got everything set up and optimized properly. And then we're also going to talk about strategy, because I think that's the one thing people don't get is, okay, now that I get how to use it, how do I use it to grow my channel, right? That's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We've got a lot to cover today, so let's just get into it. So first, Daniel, what is YouTube Shorts? Because there are a lot of people tuning in right now who have no idea what it is or how to get started, or should they even use them in the first place. So let's talk about this. First and foremost, what is YouTube Shorts?
So YouTube Shorts is sort of like YouTube's answer to TikTok. It's a vertical format video, meaning most of us know that, on your mobile phone, right? A lot of times we watch videos in the widescreen 16:9 aspect ratio. Shorts are all designed to be viewed this way. It's 9:16, not 16:9, right? So they're short, they're vertical, and they're short in length. Depending on how you upload them, they can be up to 60 seconds long, and they're designed to play within a separate shorts player, sort of like the way, if anybody's seen YouTube stories, or if anyone have ever seen like a YouTube, the community tab, how it's sort of its own thing. They're building it for mobile to sort of have its own entity. But what we're going to talk about today is it actually interacts in a much broader way than I think a lot of people are aware of. So basically, that's what we're looking at. Videos uploaded to YouTube, 9:16, short form videos that people can consume very quickly.
Okay, and I'm going to go a little bit further on that one. So they do have such a thing called a Shorts camera. So currently, if you're using the YouTube mobile app and you go to upload a video, you upload a story, or you create a community post, when you finally have access to the Shorts camera, which they are rolling out very slowly, you will have a new option there to create a short. When you create a short using a Shorts camera, that video can only be 15 seconds in length. But once you upload a video there, you have access to time control, so you can speed it up, you can slow it down, and you will have access to, once it fully rolls out, YouTube says you will have access to a music library, so you can add trending music inside of this. Now, if you're uploading a video outside of the Shorts camera, it can be up to 60 seconds long. You don't have time controls, you don't have access to music, you just have to create the video and you have to upload the video. Currently, India has all of the features, and select people around the world have beta features for this if you have an iOS device. So if you don't have the Shorts camera just yet, neither do I, and neither does Daniel, but a lot of people will be getting this sometime soon in the future.
Okay, well, you said a mouthful right there.
Yeah, so that's what I do.
So there's two sides of this, right? Even though Shorts is its own feature, we still, as creators, whether or not we have the feature or not on our mobile device, we can still upload content that would be shown as a YouTube short, correct?
Correct, and every single person on the platform has the ability to do this. YouTube does not care about your subscriber count. It doesn't matter if you created your channel today or if you've been on the platform for 10 years. Every single creator on the YouTube platform can create YouTube Shorts. So how do we go about doing that, Daniel? What do we have to do to upload a short?
Okay, well, if you had the, let's say, first of all, if you had the feature, it'd be fairly easy to open it up on mobile. There's a plus sign at the bottom. You hit the plus, you have the option to create a short, and it sort of does everything automatically. It allows you to quickly capture something, add some music if you want, and then it'll put it up as a short. But it's very limited. You can only kind of put a title and a description, and then that's kind of it. Now, if you don't have that feature on mobile, which is the only place it will ever show up, it's designed to be a mobile feature right now, on desktop or on mobile using the regular upload process, what you would do is upload a video that would have to meet those requirements. So it would have to be a 9:16 vertical video. That's step number one. Make sure you filmed it 9:16. You can upload it just like you would any other video on YouTube, but it has to be under 60 seconds long. They say up to 60 seconds, but I've actually heard that people who hit the 60-second mark, they get their stuff kind of clipped at the end. So, up to, but really under 60 seconds in length. And the one other thing you probably want to do that YouTube recommends is in the title and or in the description, put hashtag shorts, plural. I've had people ask me this question. It's they thought it was hashtag short, and it's not. By YouTube's recommendation, it's shorts, plural. Hashtag shorts. Put that in the title and or the description, and it sort of lets YouTube know that this content is kind of designed to end up in that player.
Right. And to add to the confusion, because this has been a very poorly rolled out, very confusing thing from YouTube, and I wish they would add some clarity here, but even if you don't put hashtag shorts, if you upload a video 60 seconds or less, there is a good chance it could still end up in the short shelf. There are a lot of very popular videos with huge amounts of views on them. Sometimes they have millions of views. They don't have hashtag shorts anywhere. And sometimes these videos are really old videos where people just uploaded them vertically and they just happen to be under 1 minute in length.
That's really funny. And you and I were talking about this, D. I showed D, like I screen captured. I'm like, look, I'm looking at a YouTube short that was published in 2016. It just so happened to be vertical. It just so happened to be under 60 seconds. And I think part of the reason I've been guessing is that YouTube has been populating stuff from the platform that it thinks would fit in there because there wasn't a lot of material right off the bat that was created for it. So they were grabbing things that had performed well, that met the criteria. Vertical, under 60 seconds, let's put it in there. Because I've seen a lot of these ones like that were older that had over 10 million views, like they're really taking off. So yeah, you're right. You don't necessarily have to have the hashtag shorts, but because YouTube recommends it, I would go ahead and make sure you put that in.
And here's something else that's interesting. Daniel and I, we figured this out. So shorts is for mobile only. And when a lot of us think mobile, we think phone, and we also think tablet. Well, in our experience with everything that we've looked at here, we are not able to find shorts on our iPads. So currently, for at least for Daniel and I, we're not able to see shorts. So I don't know if you're able to see shorts. If you have a tablet and you have shorts on your tablet, let us know in the chat right now because I'm curious. We don't have it. We only have it on phones. And it seems to come and go. So it seems like they're testing it, then they pull it here, they take it away, then they give it back and they take it away. So it's a really confusing feature.
Yep.
And throughout this live stream today, we're going to try to make sense of the chaos. So
that's our job.
That's our job. Make sense of the chaos. So let's move on to something here that's really important.
Sure.
Everybody's going to want to know, can you make money with shorts? Because this is also very confusing.
Here's where it gets super confusing. The shorts camera, the mobile feature, creates these videos that can be put right onto the shorts player, which is that shelf that you'll see on certain devices. You can upload from your normal route, and those videos can also be served on the shorts shelf. What I want everyone out there to think about is when people talk about the shorts player or the shorts shelf, can you see it right there? D has it. That short videos is his short shelf that are all vertical, and see how they're real quick? He could scroll and there'd be more of them to the right. Your other right.
I'm doing this backwards here. Come on, give me a break.
So, hey, master that mobile. Yeah. This, as you can see, that's the shorts shelf. But when, in terms of thinking about creating content as a YouTube content creator, you really should just think about it as another traffic source. Because if you upload a video from your desktop, and you make it vertical, and you put in the title description, and you put hashtag shorts, and you keep it under 60 seconds, That doesn't mean that video will only be shown on the Shorts shelf. It can be surfaced in all the places we're used to: search, browse, suggested. It can get shared out. It can drive external traffic. We've even heard now that Google is now integrating a vertical video feature into Google, where we expect to see YouTube Shorts start showing up on Google as well. We know TikTok and Instagram are already on their way, and we expect Shorts will be right behind. The question that people, when I've explained this, like, oh, so you can upload a video and it can still be served other places, and the Shorts player is just yet another place people might see it. Is that true, D, if I upload a video from my mobile device and I have the Shorts camera? If I go, okay, I'm going to upload a short from this camera, I did it, I set it up, it's ready to go. Is that also true? Is it all optimized and ready to go on every traffic source now too?
Well, here's the thing. So if you're uploading it from the Shorts camera, okay, from my understanding, you can add a description, but that's it.
A title. You can add a title.
I'm sorry, you can add a title, you can add a description. But if you're not uploading it through the Shorts camera, if you're just uploading it regularly, you need to treat it just like you would any other video on your channel. That means you need to have a great title. You need to have a thumbnail. You need to put your description in there. You need to put your cards in there. You need to put your end screens in there. You need to do everything on that piece of content just like you would uploading any other piece of content to your channel. Because when that piece of content goes up to your channel, YouTube treats it like any other piece of content. However, sometimes it does end up in the short shelf. So it's fair to say that your short video can live in multiple places at the same time. And when it comes to monetization, while it's in the short shelf, it cannot be monetized.
Right.
Anytime it surfaces anywhere else, it can be monetized.
Right. That's what here's where it gets super confusing, right? So you put this video up and you're like, I thought Shorts can't be monetized.
But people are making money, right?
That's correct in the sense that if the views that are gained from being seen only in the Shorts player are not monetized because they don't serve ads there currently.
Right.
Currently.
Correct.
But if that short is surfaced anywhere else, every other rule applies. Now, here's something to make this even more confusing, D. Okay, so if I know that my content can be surfaced in other places, if I upload a short from the Shorts, the camera from my mobile device, let's say I have the feature, can I add a thumbnail? Can I put cards and end screens and things like that on it?
Currently, if you're using the Shorts camera, no, you cannot.
But I can if I upload it the normal route that we're used to.
Yes. Are you guys confused yet? If you're confused, write confused in the chat because we're going to try to clear all this stuff up today.
It's funny.
It's like dogs chasing a tail here. And I also want to say this. Watch time that you build up when your video is inside the short shelf does not count towards monetization.
But wait.
What
about the views that we get from, like, if it was shown in suggested or browse or search?
Those count. Those count. But okay, once your video goes into the short shelf, that watch time does not count towards monetization. However, any subscribers you gain from the short shelf, those will apply towards monetization. I'm gonna throw one more confusing thing in here before we move forward. Can I crack open some wine? Because I think it's time. Yeah, it's 9:30.
I've had whiskey in my coffee cup since 8 a.m.
I'm just trying to keep it classy because we're in the TubeBuddy channel. You know.
Listen, let's throw one more monkey wrench into this scenario.
Yep.
If you upload a short if you had the Shorts camera and player in your mobile device, you had the feature. If you uploaded it and you weren't allowed, it doesn't allow you to put cards and screens and create a custom thumbnail. Do you know that video ends up in YouTube Studio just like any other video? And you can, at that point, go in from your desktop or wherever you usually, optimize videos, and you can add a thumbnail. You can add end screen. You can add a card. You
can add
tags, all those things after the fact. You can do after the fact. How confusing is that?
This is the most confusing feature YouTube has ever rolled out. And I can't think of anything else that on any social media platform that has ever confused me as much as YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
But that's why we're here. And so you brought up a very important point here. Since it's going up on your channel, like any other video, let's talk about what type of content you should be making and the mistakes that we're seeing some people make when they're making shorts.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? I want to quickly address one of the questions that feeds right into this. Was Grumpy Meatloaf asked, can viewers search for shorts? Absolutely. You can search by title. You could search by the hashtag shorts itself. These can be surfaced the same way any other piece of content can. And here's where it gets a little crazy. When you're trying to think of strategy behind this, you have to understand, because there's two sides of this equation that can be uploaded and pushed in different directions. That doesn't mean just because there's this new shorts feature. This is one of the mistakes, which I think you were getting at, D, that I see people make. They see this new shorts feature is there and they go, oh, it's like TikTok. I know. I'm going to go dance with my family and we're going to make something goofy and put up a short. Think of it just like another traffic source. The content you make should still hold true to your channel's value proposition. If you're a cooking channel, then your shorts should deal with the same sort of content that you would deal with on your channel regularly. This is just shorter form, a slightly different structure, a slightly different approach, but that doesn't mean that your cooking channel should suddenly be doing wacky stunts and dancing moves with your family. Because if someone gets invested in that and they go, oh, I've been watching this channel, Dean Im, and he does wacky dances and skits, and then they go over to your channel and go, what's with all this mobile device stuff? This isn't wacky skits. It does the same thing that any other video would do. You fragment your audience by serving them things that aren't true to your channel's value prop.
And this can be tempting because it is easy to get views. It's easy to get subscribers with shorts because this is new. There's not a lot of people doing them yet. So a lot of people are seeing explosive growth, but you have to understand that there is such a thing as having the wrong viewers and the wrong subscribers. So this is why it's very important that every piece of content that you upload to your channel is in alignment with your value proposition, right? I'm not going to do those wacky dances and pranks and skits and all of that for my shorts, because that's not what the main content is on my channel. That's not what my value proposition is. I help mobile content creators and mobile live streamers, so anytime I upload a short, I want to make sure that the content that I upload is in alignment with that, helping mobile content creators and mobile live streamers.
Yeah, and I've done the same thing. A lot of people who are familiar with my channel know that I do a lot of video editing tutorials trying to help people make better content. So the shorts I've made have been true to those value propositions of showing some people some cool video effect and something that they can do, like crushing a can with your mind, or doing some kind of map animation where I show that whole thing actually done in the video edit, because they're interesting to look at and they're true to my value proposition. If someone was like, oh, that's a cool thing. How did he crush that can with his mind? Oh, he's got a channel that teaches people how to do edit videos and make better content. So the idea is the shorter form stuff should play into the longer form stuff that's already on your content on your channel. One of the biggest mistakes, like Dee was saying, is if you started doing those wacky little shorts things just to drive views and potentially subscribers. Remember, those are now you're playing into just the short shelf. And that content does not count towards monetization. It doesn't drive any ad revenue. So while you might go, I got 1 million views, you probably made less than $1 on those views, because it might have been surfaced a little bit in search, but it was mostly short shelf. It didn't add towards your monetization goals, and any subscribers you gained along the way were only there for the wacky little thing that you did on shorts and not there for the real channel growth trajectory that you're trying to create.
Perfect. So in a nutshell, to sum all of that up, if you're making shorts right now and you're having success with those shorts, but it's not in alignment with the rest of the content on your channel, you're making a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Huge mistake. Now, here's something I want to ask people who are uploading shorts. First of all, just say yes, type in yes if you're making shorts right now. And if you're not making shorts, type in no. I want to see who's making. I want to get a good gauge of how many people in the chat right now are actually uploading shorts, because this is going to lead us on to the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is those of you who are uploading shorts, you've probably noticed that you get a spike of traffic and then it drops. And if you're lucky, you'll get another spike of traffic a little bit later, and then sometimes it drops off again. Sometimes you get another spike after that. Sometimes it can take a couple of days before your shorts actually end up on the short shelf. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. I'm sure
A lot of people. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. People see that all the time. It
Yes.
like jumps up and goes down. This is one really thing that Dee and I dove into. Like, why are we seeing these huge spikes and then nothing? Like, we're so used to traffic sources on YouTube where if you start driving some traffic, you'll see that graph go up and up and up, and those consistent views, like it's the evergreen effect. Those videos keep getting served out. But what was it? An interesting thing that Dee and I found is when we started digging into the short shelf, it's not that deep.
It's not that deep. And this is something that I haven't seen anyone else talking about, which I find absolutely interesting. Okay, so currently the short shelf is showing up in 2 locations. And by the way, all of this stuff can change as it rolls out. So if you're watching this on the replay and you're like, hey, you guys are completely wrong, it's because they've updated things and they've changed things. But here's what's happening currently. The short shelf is showing up in 2 places. If it's going to show up, it shows up on the home page. And when it's on the home page, there will be 15 shorts going across. And if you tap into each one of those, you can scroll through 50 shorts each, giving you a total of 750 shorts. That's it. 750 shorts at any given time on the homepage.
Now think about that. It's only 750 shorts, so that if your video makes it into there and starts getting viewed, it would make sense that it keeps getting recommended to certain viewers on the short shelf. But what do you think happens when people aren't clicking it as much or skipping it?
Well, exactly. Video performance is key here too, just like it is on your normal channel. I like to think of shorts kind of like a trending tab. Because if you look at the majority of the shorts on the homepage and you look at the view counts, they're huge. 100,000, 1 million, 7 million. And then occasionally they'll pepper in 1 or 2 channels that you might be subscribed to with the lower count. But guess what happens? Those are gone really quickly, right? Because if your video is not performing well, they're going to rotate you out. If your video does perform well, they're still going to rotate you out, but they might bring you back to test you against another audience later. So they're rotating videos in and out of the short shelf because on the homepage, there's only 750 spots available at any given time. Now, to make things even more confusing.
Go for it. Make it more confusing.
If you actually watch a YouTube video, not a short, but a video, the short shelf is also sometimes showing up under a video. Here, there are 30 shorts across. Those are also 50 deep. So this give you what, 1,500 shorts on a video page. So there's only 2 places, and both places are limited. So they can't possibly get all the shorts in there at any particular time. So sometimes you have to wait to get your short in there into the short shelf. Sometimes they rotate you out based on video performance. It's
well,
very
keep in mind,
it's very confusing.
There isn't just one set of videos that serve to everybody.
Right.
Much like every other traffic source and experience on YouTube, the videos you get served are more than likely going to be different than the videos I get served based on my own viewing behaviors, the things that I watch, and the watch sessions that I engage with. But still, because Shorts is a newer feature, we're seeing a lot of overlap. I know a lot of people who've seen the exact same shorts that I have.
And like I said, I like to look at it like a trending tab, because if I go to the trending tab, there's usually a ton of content there that I'm just not interested in at all.
Yeah.
The same thing is happening for probably 95% of the shorts that I'm looking at. It's huge video or huge shorts that I just have no interest in whatsoever. So it's kind of like a mini trending tab with peppered in people that you're subscribed to. So it's a little awkward like that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's almost too awkward. It's like just when we think we figured out all stages of awkwardness, it's
Right.
like, it's going to get a little more awkward for you.
Right. So if you're seeing those spikes and the drops and the spikes and the drops, you're being rotated in and out of the short shelf. That's what's happening.
While we're talking about the shorts shelf, D, here's something. Everybody in the chat, please take a moment and really pay attention. This is something that D discovered while we were having a conversation and digging deep that I haven't heard anyone talk about. I was making shorts, and when I went to my channel, I couldn't find that short shelf. There was no Daniel Battal shelf where all my shorts were. D, can we walk them through the crazy thing they have to do to make this feature show up on their mobile device?
Yes, because it hasn't been confusing enough yet. So, all right. So here, we're going to walk you through what you need to do to create your short shelf. Now, some people are making the mistake by they're making a playlist and they're just typing in shorts and then they're putting that playlist up there. That's not what you want to do, and we're going to show you why. Now, if you're on a desktop, you can just follow along. We're going to walk you through it. If you're on a mobile device, use the Chrome browser. put your browser in desktop mode, and then you can follow along with this. So what you want to do is go up to your profile picture in the top right-hand corner, tap on your profile picture, and then go down and tap on YouTube Studio.
Yep.
And that's going to take you inside of YouTube Studio. Then down on the left-hand side, you're going to look for an option called Customize. You're going to tap on Customize. Once you're inside of Customize, look over to the right in the Featured Sections area, and you're going to see an area that says Add Section. There it is. If you tap on that, and you can see what Daniel's doing right now. Daniel, what does that say in there?
If you go up just a few listings down in the drop down, short videos. Now I have to be clear.
Video. Yep.
Short videos. You have to add that as a featured section from desktop for it to show up on your channel. Now, I have to make this clear. If for any reason your add a section is gray and not blue, YouTube limits the amount of sections you can have on your homepage to 10 sections. This means that you would need to delete a section to allow the shorts shelf to appear.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and add this right now.
Go ahead and add the short shelf, but here's something else. This short shelf that you're going to add is only going to show up on mobile devices. So even after you add it, you're not going to see it on your desktop. It's only going to show up on your phone, and it takes a while for it to show up.
Right.
It might take 2 minutes, it might take 10 minutes, it might take 15 minutes, or it could be there right away. But it can take a while, and it only shows up on your phone.
Yeah, right. So you went through all that trouble to add it through desktop, through the desktop studio, which is the only place you can add it, and it doesn't show up on desktop.
Right.
So listen, you guys might notice that when it added it to the bottom of my content sections. For anybody who hasn't been used to, this is a newer change to the customization. Used to be that you could click on customize channel, it would keep you right on your homepage, and you'd work like on a sketch of that homepage. It's now been moved into Studio. When it gets added down at the bottom, you'll see that there's those these little double lines right next to it. What you want to do is left click, and you can move your sections, okay? You can drag those up. And what I would suggest is, because it's only shown on mobile, move it up towards the top. You don't want people having to scroll to see your shorts on a mobile device. If you leave it up here, that means if you've made short videos, they'll show up there. If you haven't made any, then they won't be there. But this will allow that player to show up right on your mobile device. When someone goes to your channel, they can go, oh, here's more shorts from this particular creator. Here's why that's ridiculously important.
And
yes, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to say, I was going to show them an example here.
Yep. Let's do that. Let me pull this out of here. One of the things you have to really pay attention to that Dee and I discovered is if someone's watching short form content from the Shorts player, they get to, let me get Dee up in full. They get to somebody's short video.
Hold on. It just scrolled through. Okay. So I'm going to, here's a short right here, and I see Yoda. So I'm going to tap on Yoda. And here's the video. But here's what's going to happen if I tap on the actual channel down here. Now it's going to go to their actual shorts. There's a Clubhouse notification. It's going to go on their actual short. This is what Daniel just created. So
that just brought us to their channel, and that's their Shorts player shelf.
Right. So all the shorts that you upload are going to go here, so somebody can actually come over, watch one of your shorts, come over to your shorts, your own short shelf, and your shorts player, and then go through all of your shorts this way.
If you do not add it the way we just showed, if someone clicks on your channel name, even if you have a channel that's completely devoted to shorts and has 100 short videos on it, if you haven't added that shorts shelf featured content section, then when they click on your name, it won't show that whole shelf worth of other shorts that you've created. Please make sure you do that. Review this live stream on the replay to walk back through it. Super important. If you don't do it, all of a sudden, all of your other content, you go like, how come people aren't watching my other shorts? They can't find them. They can't get to them.
Right. And if you guys are learning something, if we've taught you anything today, if you're just like, whoa, I didn't know about that, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Let us know that you're enjoying this, that you learned something, that you had a good time. Because maybe if we're lucky, if enough of you hit that like button, TubeBuddy's going to bring us back next year.
And if you're super confused still hit the like button, because I like being confused sometimes.
Yes.
That's part of this strategy.
Absolutely.
All right. Now listen, speaking of strategy, one of the things that that's been important to me is because I've been telling people, listen, shorts can be surfaced not just on the short shelf. They can show up in search. They can show up in suggested. They can show up in browse. Those views can be monetized. And we've been talking about how the thing works and some best practices for making sure that you're making content that's true to your value proposition. But here's the real question. How do I use shorts to grow my channel? What can I do with shorts that can really get not just get a bunch of views to the short video that's not monetized views, that don't help towards monetization, that don't put more money in my pocket? What can I do to use the shorts feature to grow beyond just being some piece of content that's on the short shelf? This is something that I've been working on for a while. I've spent a lot of time talking to creators, and I've talked to Dee about this. There's a strategy that I think that you should consider. A lot of the creators in my membership group are using it very successfully, and it's what I call the pitcher and the catcher strategy. All right,
Hey, Daniel.
Yes.
Before you get into this strategy,
Yes.
we've got a whole bunch of new people who just joined us.
Okay.
And I'm seeing some questions in the chat wanting
Let's
to
grab
know
some.
about channel size. No, I'm just going to tackle a couple things here. If you're wondering about who can do this, every single channel on YouTube, it does not matter about your subscription size. If you started today or if you've been on the platform for 10 years, everyone can upload shorts. And if you're just joining us, go back and watch the replay when this video is over, because we go through some very important things and how you need to set up your channel properly in order to do this. So go ahead, Daniel. I just wanted to clarify that for people just coming in.
So as I was saying, the strategy that I've been using, and I'm going to show you some real hard data. This isn't just guesswork. I'm going to show you how this works. That you can drive more views, that you can drive more revenue, even if your short does not end up on the short shelf. Okay? I call it the pitcher and the catcher. Now, a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the game of baseball, right? You've got this one little baseball that's getting thrown around. People are trying to hit it, catch it, throw it, do all those things. Very kind of thing. It's the kind of thing that's like the America's pastime, baseball. I want you guys to think of that baseball as a viewer. That's the viewer, all right, in this scenario. Now, in the game of baseball, you have the pitcher. Now, this is the guy who's on the mound, right? And he's going to grab that and throw it. The person on the other end of this scenario is the catcher. He's the guy who's sitting there ready to catch that ball, or that viewer. You can actually use this strategy when you're making shorts. Let me show you what I mean. I made a short for my channel, and it was called a map animation with moving plane. It was based upon another video I had done on my channel that was already successful, where I showed people how to do this Indiana Jones map animation, where there was like a line that went from country to country to country, and it was a thing. It mimicked what they did in the Indiana Jones movie, where he traveled from different places, and they'd use a map and a line to show all the different places he was heading and stopping at. But one thing I wasn't able to do originally was to insert a plane over it, because I was using Filmora. It didn't have the necessary feature. But when they released the ability to add that feature and I could do it, I made a short. And I said, hey, this is how, and I quickly showed, you can add this plane, and they've got this new feature, and it's really cool. And I showed it. So this was what my short was about, but it was playing off. This was my pitcher, right? And the ball is the viewer. So the viewer's watching this and going, oh, that's cool. Daniel's got a short out where he's quickly showing this new map animation where you can put a plane and you can make the plane move. I published this short. This was my pitcher. And as you can see here to date, it's not that old. It was beginning of December. It's driven just under 10,000 views, not astronomical. It's, if you look at the overall, it's gained 28 subscribers, and it continues to drive. If you look in the upper right here, you can see it drives a couple hundred views a day. Not astronomical, but the video continues to perform. All right. But what you want to really look at is the traffic sources. Can you see on the right? Shorts is not the #1 traffic source. Let me see if we can get a little deeper into this.
Let me get my shovel out.
Get your shovel. Here's the traffic sources for that video. You'll see that the top performing traffic sources are a mix over the entire time of channel pages, right? Browse features, shorts. Shorts is in there. YouTube search, suggested is in there. This video is getting surfaced in a lot of other areas other than the shorts shelf or shorts the shorts player, as we call it. Shelf, player. There's two different. So YouTube calls it the player. We call it the shelf. So you can
Daniel?
see. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yep.
In case anybody's wondering if your video ends up in this short shelf or not, can you highlight the traffic source there for shorts?
Right. Here it is right
So
here.
what will happen if your video ends up in the short shelf, you're going to see a traffic source like this. It's going to say shorts, and that identifies where that traffic is coming from. I just wanted to clarify that. So
No, absolutely. It's a good
keep
point.
on trucking, man. Keep on trucking.
But as you can see, but you can see that is, in terms of YouTube looking at it, or you looking at it as a creator, it's just another traffic source. There's channel pages, there's browse, there's shorts, there's suggested, there's search. There's all sorts of other traffic sources where this video is being surfaced. And shorts is the number 3 out of the about 10,000 views that this video's gotten. The shorts is the number 3. It's not even the top performing traffic source for this video. And one thing to consider is all of those other sources that it can be surfaced on, like channel pages, browse, suggested. That's where my thumbnail, my custom thumbnail gets shown, right? That's where my card or my end screen can be displayed, right? Things like more tags. I can have pinned comments with links in the comments section saying, hey, if you like this short, go check out this other video. This is where I want you guys to think outside of the box, okay? So here's a video that we can see has driven some views from multiple traffic sources, even though it's a short. It's what, 55 seconds long. It was vertical. It did all those things. This was the video that it was based upon. This is an older video that I had made. It's that map animation that showed the line moving from place to place. And I had published this video back in July of 2019. It's been around for a while. It's driven 363,000 plus views, so it's done okay. It's a fairly high-performing video. Not my highest, but it's one that's done well. It's done well on my channel. So it was an established video that continued performing. I knew how this video would perform. Week after week, I sort of knew what to expect from this video. This video is what I call the catcher. So I had that first video, the short, that was the picture. And in that video, I showed how to add the plane to this line. But in that video, I was very specific to say, hey, if you want to learn how to actually do the whole line structure, I'll put a link down below. Check the link in the description, because in a short, you can put clickable links in the descriptions, whether
including affiliate links.
Including affiliate links. And by YouTube's own definition, videos that are found from links within the descriptions of other videos are considered suggested traffic. So that sounds like such a simple idea. Make a short that has value, that provides something to the audience. I showed them how to add a plane on top of this line thing that I showed them a year and a half ago. They loved it. They were like, oh, this is really cool. You can add a plane. Oh, I don't know if I knew how to add the line though. No problem. Go back and click on this video. So here's the catcher. This is what happened in the first week of my short, the picture, being published. You're looking at the traffic data for the catcher, just the catcher. And if you look in that week, this is the suggested traffic source. If you look carefully, you'll see that I'm looking at traffic sources and I'm looking at suggested traffic videos. Videos that are suggesting this video more than anything else. The number one recommending video is my Filmora X map animation with moving plane #shorts. It is kicking the crap out of the competition. The next two videos below it that's got over 1 million views. That one there's got over 750,000 views. They're high-performing videos, super high-performing videos. But that little short crushed them both. If you look at the data in that first week, in terms of click-through rate, it's got a 6% click-through rate when it's served and suggested from the other videos from that short, as opposed to my higher performing videos. My other ones are 2 or 3%, and that one's up at 6% click-through rate. People are more than twice as likely to click through and watch a longer form piece of content from my short than they were from my highest performing videos on my whole channel. When you look at the amount of views it drove, 192 views. My 1 million viewed video only was able to push 150 views over to that video. But my little short was able to push 42 more views in that week than a video that surfaced all the time. So it outperformed a 1 million plus viewed video with a tiny little short. Beyond that, if you look at the amount of average view duration, it's beating all of them. At 4 minutes and 20 seconds, people were watching because they knew what they were going to get. They saw the short and went, oh, he said that I can actually learn how to draw the full line in that editing tutorial. Boom, it got better overall average view duration. And the greatest thing about it was the total, when you look at watch hours, expected watch time per impression, it's crushing every other video on my channel. It is for that week. That's the blue line. This is my short, this blue line up here. Look how it just shot up and dominated all of these high-performing videos. Isn't that insane? D, isn't that kind of crazy?
It's amazing. And for those of you who are like, okay, that was a lot of information. It's a lot of data. To sum that up, he used his short as a trailer, as a teaser to lead people back to another one of his popular videos. And the traffic that he's getting from that short, from that teaser trailer, is sending suggested traffic to his other video, which is giving life to that other video. And it's outperforming all the other suggested videos on his channel. So that's a huge, powerful a piece of information there in terms of ways that you can use shorts to drive traffic to your channel beyond the actual short itself. So that's one strategy that you can use, and that's a really powerful one.
And I want to be really clear here. I didn't just make a short that was like, hey, go watch my channel. Hey, go over and check out my other stuff. That's not what you want to do. Your short should not be an advertisement. It shouldn't just be spam. It shouldn't just be a commercial. You have to remember the viewer experience. The viewer's clicking through shorts, watching a whole bunch of shorts, and yours comes up. It's hopefully getting served to the kind of people who would enjoy your kind of shorts, but I was providing value. My short showed them a new trick that I had never showed them on the channel. Hey, you can and I even showed them really quickly, like all you got to do is use this feature and you can add this plane and drop it over and it'll follow that line. Oh, and if you want to learn how to do that whole line, I'll put a link down in the description. So the short itself was packed with value. It taught them how to do something. It was consistent with my value proposition, and it was the pitcher to the longer form video, which was the catcher. And I threw those viewers over to it, and they got caught. Trust me, they got caught with better click-through rate, longer average view duration, more watch time, and that thing drove more views than any other video in that week on my channel as a suggested traffic source for the catcher video.
Right. And while that short was in the short shelf originally, you weren't collecting that watch time. However, for all the viewers that came over to watch the video that it passed off to, the catcher, you did collect that watch time.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a great strategy.
Not only did those catcher views and watch time, those count towards monetization. Those have ads in front of them, so they're monetized views, right? They're going to show up in those people's watch history. So I've got multiple pieces of content in their recent watch history, which is going to help YouTube understand the kinds of viewers that my longer form content can be recommended to, because I've connected the two. I've integrated shorts into my channel growth strategy. So short form, long form, vertical, horizontal, I don't care. I want them all to provide value and work together to grow my channel. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, please tell me in the chat room, hashtag yes, that makes sense, or hashtag no, I don't quite get it. I want to see where we're at right now.
No, I think that's fantastic, and it's a great way to use shorts to drive views to your videos. It's a fantastic way, because then you're not just trapped to shorts. Like, I uploaded a short, and then if the short does this or that, well, it doesn't matter, because you're actually sending people on to watch other pieces of your content. So that's one piece of strategy. It's a very great way to do that. But there's something else. So a lot of people are like, well, how should I edit my shorts? How should I XYZ, right? So another thing that you can do is pay attention to short form content in general. It doesn't matter if you don't have a TikTok account or not. Create a TikTok account and go study what's happening over there. Don't copy over there. You need to do something that's relevant to your channel, but look at how they're making content over there, the successful content. Look at how they're editing. Look at the pacing. Look at how fast things are. Look at how quickly they'll get you from the beginning, because a hook on a short is more important than ever. So you have a video, say you have a video that's 3 or 5 minutes long or 15 minutes long. Yeah, you want to come in with your hook, but when you've only got 60 seconds or less, that hook needs to come in even quicker. You got to hook them right away, and you want to get them watching as long as you can. And you do that by, faster pace editing and by storytelling. Yeah. So go study TikTok. And while we're speaking about TikTok and other short form platforms, now you have this piece of content. Okay, you've got a short form piece of content. If it's relevant, if you're not saying go watch my YouTube video, you can upload that piece of content to other short form platforms. You've got TikTok, you've got Dubsmash, you've got Instagram Reels, you've got Likey, you've got Bytes, you've got all these other places that you can upload the same piece of content that you've already created. So keep that in mind too. Yeah,
right. And for anyone out there who's been like, oh, I haven't really tried TikTok, I don't want to learn a whole nother platform. You're already making vertical videos for YouTube Shorts. So you can run over to Instagram, you can run over to TikTok, and you can start going, I'm going to start popping these up, and I'm going to get my content onto more different types of platforms beyond just YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to drive it home because I saw somebody mention about the hook. Your hook in your short is super important. Super, super important, because keep in mind, when we have those limited videos in the short shelf. We mentioned this early on the homepage. There's 750 shorts available at any given time. On a video page, there's 1,500 at any particular time, and you're competing against videos with huge amounts of views. Videos that are proven to YouTube that they are performing very well. So your video, and somebody scrolls to your video, you better hook them immediately. Don't lollygag. Don't waste time. Hook them immediately. It doesn't have to be a verbal hook. It could be something that's visual, but you got to hook them immediately, or they're just going to scroll. It's super easy to swipe.
And that's such great advice. Let's think about that. I want to stay here for a second. When we start thinking about that intentionality, be intentional in the way you're making these shorts. Okay, let me show you some more data. We were right here, right? You saw what was going on. You saw the kind of traffic that was going on with this video. Let me show you something else. Let me show you something else here. This was the same video, okay? Let's see if you can see this. Let me see if this makes sense to you. Right in that red circle right in the middle, this was where I dropped that short. This is the catcher video, right? The longer form map animation video. If you look to the left right here, you can see this spike. That was right where that video dropped, right there. When I dropped that short, this spike here, you could see the views jump up. Now, if you look at the longer longer trend right here, you almost don't notice it. But you can see this video was driving above just under 400, give or take, views a day, and it shot up to over 600 views a day. All right? Over 600 views a day. But the real interesting part was what happened at the end of the month. This video had always been driving about 400 or 500 views a day. You can see how long the line is. It went on for months. I dropped that short in here. Things jumped up a little. They started percolating, and look what happened. Boom. December 28th. That video went from driving 400 or 500 views a day, jumped up to over 6, and was peaking out at over 3,000 views a day. 3,000 views a day. Now, you could argue that that's coincidence, could have been anything. I checked the traffic sources of what happened. I'm telling you, my ability to get viewers over to that video and start engaging with it allowed the YouTube platform to better understand that video again and find a new audience that they could surface it to based on its recent performance. And it's undeniable. That spike came out of nowhere 4 weeks later when it had been flatlined for a year. It was 400 or 500 views. That's what it always drove. I brought more attention to that video. I gave more traffic data, new traffic data from new viewers that I sent directly to YouTube going, hey, people are now watching this video. I sent them here from a short, and it exploded. It exploded. And those are monetized views. Those are views that count towards your monetization. They make money. They drive ads. They do all the right things. And now if you look in the upper right, that video went from driving an average of under 400 views a day. In 48 hours, it's driven over 2,000 views each day. 4,200 views in the last 48 hours means it's been driving 2,100 views. That's over 500% more than it was driving before I made a simple short that was a pitcher that pitched over to this catcher. How crazy is that?
It's crazy. And using this strategy, you know what else just happened? You just had somebody watch one piece of content, and then they went on to watch a second piece of content.
Yep.
So now you have a user who's watched two pieces of your content. That's a positive signal to YouTube that says this person likes this content. So even if they're not a subscriber, there's a good chance that the next time they open up their phone or open up their desktop, guess who's going to be sitting there waiting for them?
Yep.
One of Daniel's videos.
That's so important to get your content into the recent watch history of the target audience you're trying to reach. Whether it's shorts, long form, anything. Get them engaging with your channel so that YouTube starts to understand these viewers seem to like engaging with this channel, watching shorts, watching long form, checking out the community tab, putting likes, leaving comments, sharing the videos out. That's how YouTube better understands who to serve the content to and can more easily find similar viewers who have similar viewing habits and recommend your content to people who have never heard your name before. Make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Let me show you something else. I'm going to show you now. Some people go, all right, you did one video, Daniel. Big deal, right? Maybe it was luck.
We've seen a lot. We've seen a good handful of videos doing this.
This is another short that I made. It was called Can Crush. I had done this video edit where it was called teaching people using Filmora to create this use the force, where I reached out my hand and I squeezed my hand shut, and this can that was away from me on the table, aluminum can, just crushed down to nothing. So what I did was I know what I can do. That's a great visual piece. I snipped that section out and I set it up as a 9:16 vertical video and turned it into a short just because it was cool. It was really dramatic. I had dramatic music, and I did this and it crushed the can down. And I did it really short. The whole video was the short was 11 seconds long, but it was really compelling. It looked cool, but there's a strategy. This was the thumbnail I made for that short. This is the picture. Right? This is the picture video. Knowing that I had a longer form piece of content that was a tutorial teaching people that editing technique of how to make it look like you were using the force and crushing down an aluminum can, what I did was, here's the data from this short. It's driven just over 11,000 views, 11,400. That initial spike right off the bat was actually not shorts traffic. This initial spike right off the bat, this was all just getting sent out notifications, showing up on people's homepage, all the normal monetized and regular places where people could find your content outside of the short shelf. Come to find out, about a week later, it did do well enough that YouTube put it onto the short shelf, and it spiked for a little bit and went back down. So it had a shorts traffic spike a little bit later that was very short-lived. But and seeing those two peaks can be confusing. It can be like, oh, the video died off. What you have to understand is, even past what looks like the death points here, this flat line equates to 360 views in the last 48 hours. How many people out there would love to say, yeah, I'd love to get 150, 200 views to every one of my videos every day? This is just a little short. It was just a little one-off. I just repurposed something I had that I thought would be compelling. And that video to this day is continuing to drive views. Here's what's really cool. This is what I did intentionally. Remember, we talked about the pitcher to the catcher. If you look right here, at 9 seconds in, I did something very intentional. At 9 seconds in this video has an average percentage views of 91.4% right here. But you never know, like, as you can see at the beginning, it's actually over 100% viewed. They were clicking back to watch it again. So you have to keep that into consideration. But this part right here, at 9 seconds through this short, 85% of the viewers are still watching. How many of you would love to have a video that at near the end, 85% of the viewers are right there, still engaged with the content? I leveraged this and I did something very intentional. This is a close-up. I dropped my call to action. Right there on the screen, I put, hey, if you want to learn how to do this trick, link is in the description. Link is in the description. And in the description of that short, I put a link to the longer form, the catcher. So this one is like really cool. It's very true to my value prop. It shows people how to crush a can. People are like, that was cool. You want to learn how to do that? Link in the description. And guess what happens? This is the catcher. You can see up in the upper left, it was a video I called Use the Force. Showed people how to create that Use the Force effect in Filmora. It was driving approximately 70 views any given day. You can kind of see the flat line, right? You can see the flat line there. It's been kind of staying pretty steady. About 70 views a day. When that picture published and it started pointing back to the catcher, boom, 841 views in a single day when I published. 841 monetized views that count towards monetization, that drive revenue to my channel, that count towards all of my channel growth. 841 just in one day. That was the pitcher and the catcher working together. But here's the more important thing. Look what happened after that. It was averaging about 70 views a day. Look at the baseline views afterwards. Can you see that? It's averaging now as much as 143, double the amount of daily views that this video that was around for a long time was getting before I did a simple pitcher-catcher strategy. And now this video drives, upwards of 300 views a day. So instead of driving upwards of 300 views in a 48-hour period, which is upwards of 150 views in a day. So instead of driving 70 views a day like it was, I threw in this strategy, boom, it tanned it off. Now that video's driving 143 a day. I've doubled the daily views that catcher video is getting. Doubled them. And all I did was I used a simple pitcher-catcher strategy, stayed true to my value proposition, and made sure I was intentional in the way I built that shorts content. So when someone watched it, I'd said, hey, if you kind of like what you're seeing here, click over here and check out these other videos. I got more that connects directly to this video that you can learn even a little bit more about what you saw here in this short form video.
Solid.
Data don't lie, right?
Data does not lie. That's a great strategy. That's a fantastic strategy. And man, I'm seeing so many questions popping up in the chat right now.
Let's take some questions. I've been talking a lot.
Yeah. So Tracy Parks asked a question. She says, what is your favorite editing software for shorts? Okay, when it comes to editing, you can use anything for editing, but you have to remember that it has to be vertical format. So if your normal video is 1920 by 1080, you want to flip that around for your canvas and do 1080 by 1920. So you want to make sure that it's vertical format. If you're doing this on your phone, and by the way, I do all my short form content on my phone. If you're an iOS user, you could use Video Leap or VN or VLLO. You could use LumaFusion or Adobe Rush, KineMaster. If you're on an Android phone, of course, you can use KineMaster, VN, VLLO, Adobe Rush. There's so many great apps for that. It's just a matter of you need to be able to use an app that allows you to create the canvas size for vertical video.
And literally almost every video editor from Windows Movie Maker all the way through iMovie, they all have the ability to create the aspect ratio on export. Make sure you're filming vertically when you can, and make sure that you're exporting in that same vertical aspect ratio 9:16, and you're good to go. You're good to go.
Exactly. And there were some people asking about thumbnails. So if you're just joining us and you missed this, we talked about this earlier on in the stream. You'll definitely want to come back and watch the replay. Actually, after this publishes, we will add timestamps in the description as well. Yep. But you want to add a thumbnail. So if you're uploading this video normally and not using the Shorts camera, you want to treat it just like you would any other piece of content. You want to create your thumbnail. You want to add a card. You want to add an end screen, put your description in there, put a great title together, just like you would any other piece of content. Forget the fact that it's a short and treat it just like it's a short. Just treat it like it's a normal piece of content. It just happens to be 60 seconds or less.
Right.
And then when it ends up in...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and then when that video ends up in the short shelf, some of that stuff is going to be stripped away, but it will continue to live on your channel at the same time.
And the thing that you want to consider based on how you're uploading the video, there are limitations that a lot of people aren't aware of. I believe you cannot add an end screen to any video that's under 25 seconds long. So if your video is short, you can't put an end screen no matter what based on length. If it's over 25 seconds, if you wanted to have an end screen in it, think about that if you're making a short, that you go, oh, I want to make it, if I can make it, if it's 22 seconds and you could have gone 3 seconds longer, it allows you to put that end screen element in. When we're talking about adding a thumbnail, because the thumbnails currently that are being displayed on the short shelf are screen captures from the video, we don't control those.
Right.
When you do make a thumbnail, a custom thumbnail, make it just like you're looking at my picture and Dee's picture right now, 16 by 9, because where those custom thumbnails will be surfaced is just the same player that we're used to. Suggested, browse, search when you're using the regular search engine and the regular YouTube player, where if you had a 9:16, it would have huge black bars on either side and look funny. Make a normal 16 by 9 custom thumbnail that can really grab the viewer, and then you can drive views from suggested, browse, search, because that they'll click on it, have a normal thumbnail, but they'll click on it and go, let me click on this video. And the only difference is they won't have to shift it this way to get full screen. They can just tap it and it'll be a 9:16 full screen right here. One of the things I was talking to my friend Shelly Saves the Day recently.
She's in here. Hey, Shelly.
Hey, Shelly. She was pointing it out to me. Good to see you, Shelly. That, she had all the stats that regardless of whether or not that video is made 16:9 or 9:16, the majority of people watch YouTube on their mobile device. And of the people who are watching on their mobile device, the vast majority don't ever turn the phone. They leave it this way, even on a 16:9, so they can read the comments, the description, things below it. So that 9:16 vertical video is something that every one of you shouldn't be afraid of. It's you just have to sort of rethink and go, it's just content for my channel. I'm just making it vertical instead of horizontal.
Yes. Another question in here, and this we touched on this a little bit earlier in terms of relevance, and this is very important. Strawberry D&T says, all the shorts channels I've seen get thousands of views on their shorts, but the moment they post a normal 8 to 10 minute video, they can't even get 100 views. Is this normal? A couple things could be happening. So the short content is ending up in the short shelf. It's popular there, but they're not handing off to their channel. That means that people are finding their shorts, they like the shorts, and then they're moving on. If they might be making content that's not relevant, so they might be doing pranks or some other sort of content for their shorts, and they might be doing something totally different over on their channel. So you want to make sure that it's relevant, and using the picture catcher strategy that Daniel was just explaining, if you hand off to your other pieces of content, then there's a good chance that those videos that they're posting, they only get 100 views, they might be getting a lot more. So they're just they're not optimizing this correctly.
Yeah, and again, a lot of people are doing that. They're making these shorts that are more like TikTok videos that they're just like doing something goofy and popping it up, and it's getting served, and they're getting views, not making any money. It's not counting towards monetization. They can be gaining subscribers, but they're putting out the wrong message. They're sending out the wrong signal to the viewer, so that when YouTube starts figuring out, in the grand scheme of YouTube, what kind of viewer would really like your channel and who would engage with your content, make sure you're feeding them things that make sense with the rest of your channel's value proposition and your growth strategy. Otherwise it's like you're a restaurant and no one's coming into your restaurant, so you go up front one day and you start selling flowers. And you go, hey, we sold a ton of flowers today. That's great. Did you sell any meals? Nope, but we sold a ton of flowers.
Exactly.
That's not what's going to pay the mortgage here. That's not what we're trying to do. Don't just go for the quick fix. Don't just go for the numbers. Make sure you're using a strategy to grow your channel. That's what we do here. We grow YouTube channels.
Yeah, I love that. And I also want to say this, just on the record, this is coming off as like a TikTok competitor, but I'm just going to go on the record and say, this is not a TikTok competitor. TikTok smokes this in every way, shape, or form. But that means I think you should take your content and get it over on TikTok as well. Build a community over there because you've got the content. Yep.
And this isn't, and I'm sure we're going to see this evolve. Yes. We're going to see this change. Let's make it clear that this feature will change. They're really trying to focus on mobile content creators now. Get it out there. One of the reasons we believe it was put out in India first was India banned TikTok, so it was a wide open space for YouTube to go, let's step in. Let's put vertical video and see if we can make something happen. And there's some strategy behind what YouTube's doing too. But as it integrates with the rest of the platform, I don't want you guys out there thinking Shorts is one thing, like TikTok, and then YouTube is another. It's all YouTube. You guys are YouTube content creators. Create content that is true to your value proposition and serves a specific target audience, whether it's short form, long form, community, tab posts, whether it's a story, whatever it is. Make sure that you're staying true to that value proposition.
And make every upload intentional, just like you do on your channel. Make your shorts intentional as well. And here's where you're going to win with the short. Even though you are uploading it like any normal piece of content, when something does end up in the short shelf, look at what's popular there. Just like I mentioned earlier, look at what's popular on TikTok. Look at the type of content that trends over there and that's currently trending on the short shelf. So if you can make a short that can stand alone as a short and at the same time send people over to your channel to watch other pieces of your content, that's going to be the double win.
That's the win-win. That's what we want, right?
Yeah, that's what you want.
It should be full of value on its own, and it should provide value after the fact. Exactly. You get that all working together, man, that's killer. D, we're running a little bit late here. Listen, there's a lot of questions I'm sure we didn't get to. Please, if you have questions from the chat or if you're watching this in the replay, we always come back and spend time in the comments section. We answer questions. Please ask us anything that you think you might need to know to better incorporate YouTube Shorts into your channel growth strategy, and we'll do our best to answer every one of those questions.
Yeah, and this will be available for replay, and we are going to put timestamps. So we'll have all the things that we talked about in timestamps. So if you joined us late and you have questions, please check that first because we probably broke it down in detail. And I also want to say this is the end of the year. This is the last live stream for us of 2020, moving into 2021. So I hope everyone has a very safe and wonderful New Year's. Stay home, be safe, everybody.
Yeah, and get out there and start. Like I love that right here. Get
on the shorts.
The tinkerer's wife says, "Pitch that ball." I agree. Get out there and pitch that ball. All right,
yep.
You guys have a great holiday season. And let's get 2020 out of the way and move on to a better year. And we will see you guys all in the next year on the D and Daniel show. Thank you very much for watching. We seriously appreciate it. Peace.
Cheers.